Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines. We are back in our city of San Miguel. As you're watching this, it's been about a week since the last video, so let me explain what happened. Last Friday, we're supposed to have another video on City Skylines. However, I lost all that footage. About an hour and a half of recording. I lost the entirety of the footage. The file got corrupted and it's gone. So, I will have to explain to you guys what you have missed. Pretty much, what was supposed to be Friday's episode focused on building the suburbs of the city. So I re-expanded here a little bit, and in this area, I've made this new little neighborhood. Over here, we have a nice little self-sustaining neighborhood with its own little downtown. Oh, and look at that, we did not go up a level. Our campus objectives is good. We are lacking students, but anyways, so we have this new neighborhood, and right here is being built also this little neighborhood which will connect the rest. So our city has grown up one step. We reached past the 46,000, and we're on our way to get a megapolis of 85,000 people. I'm really sorry that you guys missed that many footage, but I want to thank you guys all for watching. The videos have been getting more and more views, which means a lot. So thank you for watching, and let's jump right into today's episode. The goal of today's episode will be to start the district I've mentioned for a long time now, which will be a big residential here, then commercial, and mostly touristy district in this area right here on this little peninsula. By the way, here the brown water is clearing as I've switched. I don't remember if that was part of the footage I've lost, but I switched to the eco water treatment plants. So now it's looking a lot better. We just need this to finally get cleared. But we're going to be able to get started on this area. The first thing we're going to want to do is change this interchange. I was thinking about adding another interchange here and having the highway come down this way, but I feel like it'd be better for the highway to come here and go down, something of the sort. Okay guys, there you go. So what I've done for the highway is I've replaced this previous roundabout here, this previous interchange with a four-way interchange, created a by Timbo, and then right here I used another one of Timbo's great work, the diverging D intersection, which hopefully works as planned. I think I may have to take off. No, these don't have lights already, so it's perfect. And that's going to be our main avenue into the city. One thing I will change about it is that it's currently using a 4-lane system. I will switch that to 6 lanes because I want that to be my main path. So there you go. So that's going to be 6 lanes. And then we're going to be able to extend this bad boy all the way this way. Now, something I want to do for this area is follow the shape of the island. Not the island, sorry, the peninsula. Okay, so that's going to be our main drag right down the middle, which will have the offshoots of everything. That will be the main artery for this entire road network in this part of the city. While we are talking highways and roads, though, let me tell you something. Last time you saw the city, it was actually in a short video this past Friday. So if you saw that, you saw a quick time lapse of this intersection, and as it was pointed out to me, there was no way for people coming from this side to go to this road down there. So I actually added this little ramp here. It's not very pretty, but it's the first solution I came up with. Another thing, I made it more pretty by using the Move It mod and making everything more circular and more beautiful. So there you go. So that's switched. Thank you very much for watching that video, by the way. And if you're coming here from that video, hello, hi, welcome to the first episode. I recommend you watch the whole series so you can see how our city grew. But now we're going to go back to our zone over here. Okay guys, so I've started doing the road network for this area, but before I go too much into that, I want to make sure I decide what will actually be included, because some of these buildings that I won't put in here, especially the tourism ones, are pretty significant in size. So I want to make sure I leave enough room. Like the Opera House will be one of the ones we include in there. I'm not quite sure where exactly that one's going to go. The Expo Center most definitely will be in there. The Science Center. All that kind of building that brings in lots of tourism is where is the type of building that I want in here. The observation tower, kind of like the Space Needle. That's definitely one of them. What do we have here? The stadium, for sure. We may even actually dip into the education here for the varsity sports. I may want to have something like a American football stadium, or yeah, the football stadium seems like something that should be included in this area. And seeing how big it is, that's definitely something I want to plan ahead of time. Like maybe I want the stadium to be center right here in the middle of it, which I think is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have American Stadium right here, and right across from it, we will have a baseball stadium. So that's gonna be the sports parts of things. Let's see what else we could have. The Modern Art Museum most definitely needs to be included in here. That one's gonna be more close to the sea, I feel, especially the shape of it. I feel like that should be near the sea, about right here. Now, Central Park, I don't think we want that here. Another stadium. It's a much smaller stadium than the first two, but I feel like we could include that. Would we have room next to it? No, we don't have room next to it. Across the street, maybe. That would be the small stadium for smaller things. Central Cathedral of Plenitude. No, we don't need the Expo Center. Now, where do we want the main Expo Center to be? Maybe around here? Or you know what? The Expo Center will be one of the first ones. So about here. Next to it, I will put the Science Center. I feel like those should go well together. High Interest Tower, not quite sure yet. I may want to put that actually in here near the businesses, but it does take up a lot of room. Maybe in the future if we have another office space. Same for the ziggurat. I don't really want that in here. Observation Tower. I want the Observation Tower to be right at the tip of this peninsula. That way it can oversee the whole peninsula and everything. Kind of like a lighthouse of sorts. Now, there's a lot of these we haven't unlocked yet, like the servicing service. That's not really interesting. Academic Public Library. That could be pretty cool, but maybe not for this area. Aviation Club, no. Aquarium, that would be nice. 5,000 children in elementary schools. As soon as we get our city bigger, we'll add the aquarium in here for sure. The Opera House, we said we're going to include. The Opera House should be fairly centered, maybe right here. The Fountain of Youth, Life and Death, it definitely needs to go next to the Art Museum. I feel like something that would go very well together, so I'm going to place it right next to it. Okay, and there we go. So we have our main buildings placed, which is good. The next thing we want to think about is transportation. How will people get here? First and foremost, the metro for sure, because I always have tons of people using the metro. Okay, so right next to the expo centers, so on each side we'll have one. There we go. So we have a full loop in the main part of the city. How many people do we want to... How many trains do we want on here? I think I'm going to have at least 5 for now, and we'll see how used it is. Now, as I was saying, we want to think about other ways of coming in. So like a harbor is something that would make sense. We have a little bit of... if I go back up here, of a little dip down. So I'm thinking this would be a good place to put a harbor, actually. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add our first harbor of the city here. We obviously need to connect it through some streets. Monorail. Do we want to bring the monorail all the way here? We might not want to bring the monorail all the way here, but we may want to set up a monorail in the city to go from one end to the other. Not in the city, in the area, I mean. May want to do is switch all these roads from here on to monorail roads and have a little monorail. Now that we have the monorail lines all connected, let's... Oh, never mind. I forgot to add one right here. Like so, and like so. Okay, so as I was saying, now we should be able to connect all these stops. Then we'll put as many carts on it, as many monorails on it as there are stops, and the answer would be there are 10 stops, so I want 10 little vehicles. That way there's everybody is using them. You never have to wait too long. Now, electricity will be quite complicated to bring it to everybody here. I need to figure something out for that. I may have to wait until some of the buildings are in place and built. So let's figure that out right now. First off, wait, before we do that, let me set up a couple parks around like the plaza and stuff like that to be around here, because those will help increase the wealth of the area, which is what I want. Okay, so now that we have all that zoned out, I think we can start placing some of the buildings. I'm gonna start with the area around the stadium with some high density commercial, because that's what makes sense to me. And we have a demand for commercial anyways. We're also going to want some office buildings in this area, mostly not because they're needed, but because they look good. The office buildings are some of the better looking big buildings, especially since what I will do is set up a district where they are and place them as the IT buildings. Those look awesome. I will connect electricity this way. I'll connect here. We'll go over the highway. And that should connect electricity to those buildings as they start getting built. Okay, so we have electricity in our first areas. We have our first buildings going up. Here is the beautiful towers from the tech stuff. Our games are going to happen, which is good. I guess they all get the same policies, because those, I didn't set the policies here. Those are policies from the pool I have over there, so I guess they share policies. So we'll start with that. Now I want this to be lots of commercial and businesses, not businesses, offices, to bring up the tourists, but I don't want it to be only that. There's also going to be some high density housing, especially because now we're going to start losing a lot of money, so we're going to need some more tax revenue. So I might increase the number of buildings. What are my policies in this area? Because I like the way these buildings look. High-tech buildings like the self-sustaining, these look cool too, but it's not the look I'm going for. But so I'm going to set up our roads now that we have our big buildings set up, and that should allow me to more easily figure out what I'm going to do with the zone. Okay, so I started to lay down the road layout of what it's going to look like. This will be the residential area of this peninsula. High density, obviously. We have here the industry buildings are growing pretty well. It's nearly filled up. My one problem is my demand is so low that it's hard to zone all this out as much as I want to. But hopefully we'll still be able to zone some of it. If only I could get the power around here. One thing I did just notice is that there's going to be lots of lights here. It would seem I need to get rid of a lot of these lights. I really like the way they made this modern art museum look. Actually, it's pretty cool. Big fan. Okay, one thing I did want to do earlier that I forgot about is, since we're losing a lot of money now, as I expected, I want to set up a new way of making money that we don't have in the city yet, and that is actually some toll roads. Because why not? So I'm gonna set up a toll road here, right where the exit of the city is, and hopefully those can start earning us a little bit of money. What is the price of them? They're $1. That's not bad at all. Okay, people are slowing down a lot though. I'm scared there's gonna be a traffic jam. Oh, you need water and electricity, I guess. Don't understand why you'd need water, but we'll give it to you. And how about you just have a little boom? That should be enough for you guys, right? Okay, so we're definitely gonna need to change that actually, because that's gonna cause a traffic jam. Wait, isn't there a policy? Oops, that's not what I want. Policies, isn't there an automatic automated tolls? Yes. Increase the vehicle flow through toll booth, reduces toll booth income by 30%. Sure, we'll do that. Sounds not bad. There you go. So that's gonna start earning us a bit of money. We could set up another one on this end if we had more room, but we don't have room yet, so maybe in the future once we get those tiles up there. But for now, that will be it for those. Okay, I'm really hoping these guys start connecting a little bit faster. Let me be careful with my zoning. You know what we'll do? We'll remove this zone. We'll remove this. I think that's not built pretty much to force people to actually build right here. That way they can connect and get that electricity. So we're going to wait for our city to grow a little bit. And then I'll get back to you guys once this area has grown significantly more than it currently is. We currently, by the way, have 834 tourists. I should have checked this before I set all these guys up. I don't know if it's already gone up or if it's going to go up. But we have 842 tourists right now. Okay, now I've also added schools in this area since this is where we're going to increase our residential zone. I've put a little bit of residential zone already over here. One thing I noticed while I was waiting for it to build is I'm scared that we're going to go back down a level once again here for the university, which is why I want to get that residential zone going as soon as possible to try to get some more workers, some more students, I mean. So hopefully we don't go down yet again for the university. I thought it was going to be much easier to get the university up, but I think maybe I'm building too gradually and people are getting are learning like as it goes. Because if you look, our university has more capacity than there's eligible people, but we have nowhere near this amount of actual students yet. We don't. There's 4,300 people eligible, and we only have 1,100 in here. Now, is there schools? Yes, there is school in this district. High school. They're not very educated yet. Maybe once these people all get high school educated and then can go to the university will help. But for now, we need more and more students. And I do want to add a hospital in this area also, because I realized I forgot to add services. So let me add a hospital. Let me add a thingy, what's it called, for the firemen, and police station as well. Okay, so we do have a little bit of a traffic problem coming into the new zone, which we are going to fix. I think the problem is this intersection is not meant at all to have as many cars on it as it currently does. So we may have to use a different type of intersection. Okay, so I've used another one of Timbo's intersections. This one should be better as it's meant to have a lot more traffic on it. I'm gonna need to reconnect it here though, however. I wanted to keep an intersection that gave me, if I wanted to, the option of continuing the city in the other direction. There you go, traffic does seem to be going a little bit smoother. Okay, slowly but surely I think the traffic is starting to clear. And our city is continuing to grow. By the way, while we wait for all of that to build over there, let's take a look back at these districts, and they do seem to be growing quite well. If I check the levels, they're upgrading slowly but surely. The land value is amazing, so is it here and here. I still need to keep upgrading the land value over here. It's not perfect yet, but I think also as they start upgrading, the land value goes up. Because just the buildings around them are better. So slowly but surely we are going to increase everything in this area. Oh, lost the first baseball game, won the first football game. Nice. That is a big stadium. Let's check back on the traffic issue. It is clearing. This isn't as long anymore. There's not as many trouble around here. Alright, I think we're going to leave it off here for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I'm sorry that we lost footage from the last episode, but hopefully you're happy to be back in the city of San Miguel. If you have any suggestions for a name that I could name this district on the peninsula, that would be very welcome. I feel like we could come up with a cool name for it. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. I will catch you guys all in the next episode.